Hello, everyone. Welcome to some Victober reading sprints with friends and Elizabeth. Hello to Elizabeth. And then Kat says hi. Cannot stay very long, but I'm excited to share that. Even though I'm a tad bit behind on the group read, I'm loving it. And I'm trying my best to finish by the end of October. That's awesome. Tea and typewriters. That is such a great username. Uh, Lisa is here. Hi to Lisa, Melissa. And then between yesterday and today, visiting with my. Why am I having trouble? What is that abbreviation? FOTL. Not sure. Anyhow, store and big library sale. I picked up quite a few Victorian lit books. That is so fun. Well, before we carry on, maybe we could introduce ourselves. So if you're at my channel, I'm assuming you know who I am, but I don't know how. And I'm excited to be joined by friends for reading sprints. And yeah, just looking forward to getting some good reading in. Jess, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, hello, my name is Jessica, and I only have Instagram, and it goes, the handle is Dear Readers, this is Jess. Kate, did you freeze on yours end or just on mine? Let me see if there's.
I think she's frozen. There she
Sorry
is.
about that. My internet has been finicky today. Sorry. So I was just going to say that I have everybody's channel or Jess's Instagram linked down below, and you'll want to. Jess is so fun to follow and just see your reading updates, and especially how you don't let being a mother of little children get in the way of reading. I love that. So then I guess Miriam, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Miriam. Thanks so much for inviting me to participate. This is really exciting. I have a channel as well, Miriam Elizabeth Reads. And honestly, I owe my love of Victorian literature to you, Kate. You really were what kickstarted it all. So thank you.
Oh, that's so great. And I think actually for all four of us, the Venn diagram in our reading is a lot of Victorian literature and mysteries. So that's fun, kind of those commonalities. And then last but not least is Mitzi.
Hello, I'm Mitzi from Mitzi Reads and Writes, and I love Victober. And yes, Kate's the one that hooked me. You know, when I found your channel, it was like, oh my goodness, someone else loves Victorian literature. And so I was just like, from January to Victober, I am sitting there planning out, okay, these are the things I'm going to be reading this year.
I love that
Some
so
of
much.
them are so challenging. You know, some of these books are really challenging books. So when you have all these other people encouraging you to, you can do this, and other people are reading them, it's like, okay, I found my people.
Yes. No, 100%, 100%. I love that. And I think it's kind of finding then within Victorian literature, the subsets of that you kind of like and you're more drawn to. So you can kind of
Yeah,
find
yeah, true.
what will be the most rewarding. Oh, and FOTL is Friends of the Library.
Oh,
I should have known that
okay.
information. Oh, how fun. Sarah says, this is my first time hearing about Victober. I came over from Jess's Insta when I heard about sprints tonight. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so glad to have you. I love seeing that each year there's people that are new to Victober. So it keeps growing and growing, and eventually everyone is going to love Victorian literature. Oh, wow. Yeah. Tea and Typewriter says, we love mamas who read. I have 3 kiddos under 4. Oh my goodness. You're in a like very intense season of life, but it's very, very rewarding. And then they just get more and more independent the older that they get. Oh, Melissa says, I finished Aurora Floyd by Mary Elizabeth Bradd a few hours ago. I hate to say it, but I wasn't a big fan. To me, it really dragged in the middle, and Lady Audley's Secret was a lot more fun to me. I am sorry, Melissa. That is not like a great note to have, because I know you've had Deerbrook. Melissa fell in love with Deerbrook, but no other real like winners. So that's always frustrating. I haven't really had many winners this Victober either. Jess, do you want to talk about kind of you've had a couple like really fun Victober reads, right?
Yes. I loved Man and Wife. Like, I felt like, you know how like those Gen Z like teenage boys now, like I don't even know if they're Gen Z, right? But like teenage boys where they're like, do let's go. That's how I felt. When I finished Man and Wife. I was like, in your face. I really loved it. Like it brought a lot of like teenage boy emotions out of me for some reason.
That's amazing.
But yeah, I think Wiggy Collins is like officially now one of my favorite Victorian authors. I finished Armadale today,
Oh,
and it was like also so good.
and
And the
that
thing
has
about Wiki Collins is that he, you know, as a reader, what's gonna happen, who's the evil, who's the good, who's, you know, but for some reason, it's still like you knowing all these facts, you still want to read on because of how great his writing is. Like I feel like now contemporary books, like if they say, "Oh, this is evil, this is what's gonna happen, this is what she's gonna do," you tend to be like, "Well, I already know. Why do I continue?" But Wiki Collins is just like, "No, you want to read on."
yeah, I think as you want to see kind of how it's going to unfold, and
Mhm.
particularly in Man and Wife, when he's one of the main characters is so dreadful, you're like, I want to see how he's going to go down. Like, I want to see, and I'm going to eat my popcorn and enjoy while I watch terrible things happen to him. Ah. So then, Miriam, how has Victober been going for you? And I know your schedule is pretty like jam packed, but you usually, I feel like you do like mental gymnastics to figure out how to fit some reading in as well. So, how's it been going for you?
It's been going well. I've been reading a lot of like Victorian adjacent books as well. So books just set either in the Victorian era or just kind of that vibe. But I did read a Wilkie Collins too, and what you were saying about Wilkie Collins, Jess, is so true. Even though, so it was The Law and the Lady, and even though I wasn't absolutely blown away by the story itself, just the reading experience was so fun. It was so fun, and his writing especially. But I think my current favorite so far out of the month, and I am reading Family Parsonage by Trollope, so that might take first place. But my current favorite is Ruth by Elizabeth Gaskell. That was a really big standout for me this month. That book just shattered my heart, and I can't stop thinking about it. I'm still thinking about it. So that was incredible.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that is the Gaskell that kind of I felt honestly underwhelmed when I read it. And so I know that means I need to return to it because I love her writing so much. And then Mitzi, how's Victober been treating you?
Before we move on to that, I love Ruth, and I think it's underrated. I think the situation in that, I don't want to give anything away, but I think the situation in that is so, the way she handles it, because of it being a Victorian period,
Mhm,
is so interesting to me. And
mhm.
I found Ruth to be a super interesting character. I loved that book. I really did. So yeah, you need to revisit that.
Hi.
Something that surprised me is, I think you have this, the Victorian Family trilogy. It's a nonfiction set.
And I have
Well,
not read it yet,
oh
but
well, you
you have
need
reminded me.
to.
I
You need
know.
to. So I read the first one and I picked it up just thinking, okay, we'll just see how this goes or whatever. I could not stop. The first one is The London Child of the 1870s, and
Mhm.
it's just little episodes from her childhood. And it is so fascinating to me because you really feel just so personal. It's such an intimate account, and it's from a child's point of view, and it is fantastic. So I haven't started the second one yet, but I'm just going to continue because I have the trilogy in a little set. I love it. And I was wondering why you hadn't talked about it. So that's why, because you haven't picked it up yet. But I thought I'd seen it on your channel at some point.
Yes, and it's one of those. Well, what happened is also I found out the actual publication date, even though it was written in the 70s, 1870s, 18.
Yeah, it's
But
not Victorian,
yes,
right?
so then I'm like, well, I have to save it for another time, and I was working on
Yeah.
like getting to 25. So nonfiction November, that is going to be my
Yeah.
time to shine.
Yes, it
And
is great.
do you know that there's a fourth one?
I know when I was looking
Okay.
at the back of one of them, I was like, wait a minute, there's another one because they're listed like in the back if you like this book
Yes.
kind of thing. But I found at a thrift store a little box set of the three. So I thought it was just three. But when I read the back, it actually had, was it like Edwardian or something? I can't remember what it says, but it's like a continuation. But I can't wait. Oh, she's frozen again. She's not with us. Guess I'll wait a second and see if she comes back.
I'm sorry. If I freeze again, you can just keep talking.
Okay, okay. But there is the way that one ends. So you have to read it because we've got to talk about it.
Yes. Okay. This is
Nonfiction November. And
yes.
it's not very long either. It's not a
No.
long book. And for it to be nonfiction, from a child's perspective, it's super easy to
Yes.
get through. But I also read, I finished The Way We Live Now, and it was fantastic. I sent Miriam a text and I said, you have got to read this. This book has your name written all over it.
That's awesome.
I
love
will.
it.
I just have to
really
finish the
did.
Barsetcher series. I need to finish that series first.
Okay.
I know. I wanted to read it so bad.
I ordered the little DVD for the movie adaptation because I was like, this is so good. So now I've got to watch the movie.
The miniseries
Yeah,
is
the miniseries. Yeah.
It's really, really good. So let's see. Let's share some more reading. I love Trollope's Barchester Chronicles. Mitzi, finding your people comment. I couldn't believe there were others that also think they're weirdly cozy. Yeah, there is. It's like, because they're so domestic. I think that's what it is. Skeleton Key says, I zipped through the group read right away. My first Trollope, and I really enjoyed it. That is a full-on first Trollope.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I love Melissa, the range of emotions you would experience between Deerbrook and Tess of the D'Urbervilles would be quite a lot. And I really enjoyed The Runaway by Elizabeth Anna Hart. It was really funny and cute. I own that. It's a Persephone and it's a children's story and has really cute illustrations. So I'm excited for that. Oh, and Michael says good evening. And he attended the 1860s book discussion and he wore Victorian garb for the book discussion. So it was so fun. Dream in the Garden finished Agnes Grey a few days ago and loved it so much. I love that one. I read The Woman in White earlier this month. It's one of my favorites this year. I need to read more, Jess. I'm so glad you love him. That's so cool. Oh, I'll be trying to catch up on the Belton Estate tonight. Way behind on that one. And Wuthering Heights is starting to get hard to get through. Boy, hopefully the Belton Estate will kind of balance out the intense emotions you're experiencing from Wuthering Heights. Oh, and Elizabeth really enjoyed A London Child of the 1870s and yes on the ending. So now I'm very curious. The group read is The Way We Live Now by Anthony Trollope. Okay, Sharon was one of the people that we read The Pillars of the House, volumes 1 and 2, and I loved it, but I'm worn out on Victorian books for now. It was very, like, talking about full on, it was very full on and just took a lot of concentration. So I enjoyed it. It's a positive memory, but I was like ready to kind of take a breather after that. Melissa, I am so excited to hear what you think of the story of the Treasure Seekers. This book is just full of fun. It's so good. And then the sequel is The Would-Be Goods. I like that the story of the Treasure Seekers takes place in the city, and then the Would-Be Goods is more in the countryside. Mitzi, I think you would really enjoy those. So then I guess we could talk about what we'll be reading, which this is not Victober, but I have to show Jess that I got this from the library today. I know. I'm hoping, I've been wanting a fantasy to fall in love with. And so I read the first chapter and I really enjoyed the first chapter.
It is like dark fantasy, which it's like my first dark fantasy that I read, but it doesn't feel like so overwhelming. I'm like the second one, I'm flying through it too because it's just so good and you're rooting for everyone except the evil people, right? But like all the characters and the side characters are so good.
Oh,
Hopefully you really like it, Kate.
I've been wanting another fantasy to read after I just had like a whole crisis after finishing The Wheel of Time and like rereading Lord of the Rings. I love Lord of the Rings, but I'm like, I want something else. Um, so let's see. Okay, but I think tonight what I'll be mainly reading is Coming Through the Rye, which this is an autobiographical story, and I'm really, really enjoying this. She's talking about her childhood, and her father is just, he's worried she's just going to hell in a handbasket. And so he's shipped her off to boarding school. And she just has such an idyllic way of writing about the places that she's in and the things that she's seeing. And I love in this last chapter, she was so excited because she gets to wear pants to play cricket at the all girls boarding school. um, so yes, this is fun. And I did not realize um, Nell is a nickname for Helen. I'd always heard the nickname Nell. Yeah, but it's a nickname for Helen. Okay. So, side note, Monet, let me tell you, story of my life. I have tried 3 times with The Bear and the Nightingale. I want to love it. I want it so bad. I want it so bad. Ah, hopefully it will happen. I know. Okay. Lisa says she's reading Daniel Deronda tonight. I love Daniel Deronda so much. And Katie says, I'll be taking a break from Victorian literature and reading a cozy mystery about vampires and knitting. That is amazing. I just love the specificity of that category. That is fabulous. And Angela says, so far, the highlight of my Victober has been a reading of The Prude's Progress. If you guys want a funny play, The Prude's Progress by Jerome K. Jerome is hysterical. And Man and Wife. Oh yeah, Tenant of Wildfell Hall totally fits as absolutely Victorian. So that's so fun. I bet it's really good on audio. Let's see here. Am I missing anything? Oh, she's trying Shirley again. Skeleton Key is trying Shirley again, as I didn't finish it when it was the group you read a few years ago. I feel like Shirley is very hit or miss, and it's one that I appreciated when I finished, but I didn't necessarily fall completely in love with it. So then, Jess, you've just finished Armadale. So are you going to be reading something Victorian or are you switching it up?
I think I am gonna read something Victorian. I was gonna pick up The Way We Live Now, but like I'm just looking at it and it's a chunker. And I'm like, Wiki Collins and also like Armadale and Man and Wife still felt like thick just because every single page was full of information.
Yeah.
So I was like, no. So I think I'm gonna read The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells.
Oh,
I'm excited for something a little spooky too. So
I love The Invisible Man. That is my favorite H.G. Wells. I love it.
oh, that's awesome.
Everybody says War of the Worlds, and I like that one, but The Invisible Man has a great message. So yeah, love that one.
That's very cool. And then, sorry, I've like lost track. Mitzi, have we heard what you're reading? I couldn't remember.
What am I reading? Oh, I'm going to read The Return of the Native because I don't have but like 70 pages left. So I'm going to try to finish that. Yeah.
I think you'll be able to. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Even if the reading sprint show is done, I think by the end, by the time you go to bed.
Yeah. I'll finish that one.
Yes. Oh, cool. And then Miriam, what are you going to be reading?
I was having a hard time deciding because I have 2. So I'm making my way through The Odd Women and I'm like 60% of the way through. And I want to finish it, but I also want to put a bigger dent in Framley Parsonage because I'm not very far. So I think I'm going to do Framley Parsonage, but maybe I'll do a little bit of both. We'll see.
Yeah. Oh, cool. I hope that you you enjoy it, whichever one you end up going with. Okay, so I think maybe we'll do a 30-minute sprint for this first one. I think I'm hoping to do 2 sprints. So we'll see how it goes. So I'll just put 06 since we're in different time zones. Is that what I want? Yeah, 06. Okay. Math is math is hard. Okay, there we go. So happy reading, everyone. Okay, that is the end of that sprint. How did everybody's reading go? Also, I love that Amy popped on just to say hi, bye. Just wanted you to know I appreciate all of you. I love Amy's family today is doing, it's their 3rd annual Red Wall Feast, which I just love. I think that's so sweet. Oh, people had put some things after I had started the sprint. And so Joanna said she is reading Under the Greenwood Tree while the kids are babysitting, while the kids and babysitting are sleeping. And Joanna, is this your first Hardy? I am not sure if you had read other ones. Well, Jess, how did your reading go?
It was good. I was just at the part where like I think it's Cuz going to talk to the vicar about what he just saw and experienced. So you just caught me right there when he said no hand, and I'm like, what?
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I'm enjoying it so far. I made it to page 24.
Oh, awesome. And Miriam, how did your reading go?
It's good. Not much happened in the couple chapters I read. It was just Mark Robarts, the clergyman who's like the main character. He was just in Caldecott's with another group of people. I don't know, Kate, if you remember the Harold Smiths and all these crazy people, and the Proudies are back.
Oh, the Proudies
from Barchester Towers, and yeah, it's just such a time with those people. So it was entertaining to say the least, but not much has happened. It was just pure entertainment so far.
Gotcha. And then Mitzi, how did it go for you?
Well, mine was like a main part. So I was like, what? That kind of thing. It was, I don't want to say, but this is The Return of the Native by Thomas Hardy. So if you haven't read it, I'm not going to spoil anything. But someone discovers something, and it's, oh my goodness. And so there's just this very tense conversation, and you call time.
Wow. Now, I have heard that Thomas Hardy is the reason for the phrase cliffhanger. But
I could see that. See that.
There's some book where someone's hanging by a cliff, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know if he actually is. I haven't, it just came back to me that. Well, I did enjoy the 2 chapters that I read, but there's getting to be like more romantic drama, and it's just catching me off guard because it started off in childhood. And so when you're following someone as they grow, you should be prepared for that. So hopefully I'll kind of adjust. I'm a little like, where is this going? What is going to happen in this? So we will see. Reading a murder mystery, Holy Terror in the Hebrides. That is the most fabulous title. I love that. Elizabeth Briggs says the Proudies are the best. LOL, not. The 3% mark of Shirley, and I'm still in the introductory material. Mm-hmm. So Shirley, it's funny that the title of the novel is Shirley because you have to wait like 25% of the book to actually meet Shirley. I tried. That's one, like, I really wanted to love it. So I tried a couple of years ago, like, I'm going to slowly reread it. And then 20% in, and I just got impatient and gave up on the project. That was how it went for me. Oh. Well, unfortunately, I think I need to rest. I wanted to do like longer, but I think I need to be reclined now. So I think actually we're going to cut reading sprints short. I am sorry, everyone. But I'll keep sharing if people keep showing things in the chat. I'm reading Vera by Elizabeth von Arnim. Oh. That is such an unusual novel. Like, it is like Rebecca. It has Rebecca vibes, but it's its own thing.
I like Vera, but and I see why people say it's like Rebecca, but it goes in a totally different. It has a different theme. Let's just say that it's really frightening. At
It
the end,
is.
it is it's a great read for October.
It is.
Got that one on my TBR.
Oh well, it's about gaslighting. Really, it's a
Mhm.
lot of that kind of. It's something.
Yes, it really is. Yeah, it's
It's
something.
not like her Elizabeth and the German Garden or whatever that one is.
No. Or the
Nothing
Enchanted
like that.
April. Yes. You know what's funny is the Enchanted April is one that I loved when I read, but I know that the pacing was a little weird, so I'm scared to reread it.
Yeah.
And then it won't live up to my memory.
Yeah.
I'm reading The Moonstone and loving it. 10 pages into Dracula. That is like the ultimate October Victorian reading. I feel like that or Jane Eyre. When you want the atmosphere, those have it. Oh, okay, here we go. The term cliffhanger is considered to have originated with a serialized version of Thomas Hardy's A Pair of Blue Eyes, in which one of the protagonists is left hanging off a cliff.
Okay.
That's one of the Hardy novels I haven't read yet. So
Yeah, I haven't read that one
I
either.
was like, am I making it up? So it makes sense. It's not in one of the ones that I've read. So I'll be very excited now to get to that part. Yeah, so I guess for this last week of Victober, are you just trying to finish your current read?
Yeah.
Any of you? Yeah.
Yeah. I have Aurora Floyd and the rest of Return of the Native. So yeah. And then the last week I always end up wanting to read, something spookier or whatever. So which I did squeeze in Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I mean, I read that just about every October. I don't know why. I have certain ones, but I just had to. I don't know. It was like, oh, I'm in the mood for it. So I just went ahead. I actually watched the Disney one, that little cartoon last night.
That's so fun.
I love that one.
I want to watch the Johnny Depp one, but I don't know if I'm too chicken for it.
Well, we talked about that last night because it came up because I was watching that. And I remember my husband watched it and I told him, I said, I don't think I want to watch that. And he said, I think it's rated R, but I don't know why, because it's not really that frightening.
Yeah.
But I still don't know if I want to watch it or not. I like the Disney version.
Jess, have you seen the movie of the Johnny Depp Sleepy Hollow?
No.
Okay.
I have not. But everything that he comes out, like there's the one that's not even scary, but I got scared. Edward Scissorhands or something like that.
Oh.
Like it's just creepy looking, creepy acting, and I'm just like, no, thank you. So he's a really good actor, but I think like he likes scary, creepy stuff.
Yes. Yeah, kind of uncanny.
And it's funny because I love to read horror books. I don't like watching horror movies.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I know that I am the same way with really tragic things. Like I will read Wuthering Heights over and over again, but I do not want to watch a film of it.
Yep.
Really?
And I'm the same as you, Jess. Like I don't read horror, but I do like to be a little spooked when I read. Like, I don't know. I'm not a big thriller person, but I love Dracula. I really enjoyed The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, like books like that, but I would never watch adaptations. I'm just too much of a scaredy cat.
Yeah, it's seeing. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yes.
Yeah. And I can imagine safely as I read.
Yeah.
I have my own little boundaries.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but I remember my husband had taken the boys to go fishing at the lake with my family, and I stayed home and I watched Sweeney Todd. Well, I didn't even know what Sweeney Todd was.
Oh my goodness.
And I was up, I was like, you need to come home with us. So I can't take any kind of creepy, scary. That was pretty graphic too.
Oh, Yeah. You know what's funny is in this, people will be like, that's not like at all, scary compared to movies that come out now. But I was really traumatized by Strangers on a Train, the Hitchcock movie.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Really creepy. It's because they make a deal, like they'll each kill someone for the other person.
Right.
And the guy's like, oh, yeah, sure. And then he leaves and goes on his merry way. And the other guy was completely serious about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really just
Yeah.
sinister.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Did you read the book, Kate?
You know what? I haven't. I've been too scared to read the book because the movies scare me so much. But maybe the book would be safer feeling.
Yeah, I think that well, I haven't watched the movie, like I said. If I get creeped out or scary in a book, I'm just like, I can skip the adaptation.
Yeah.
But it was good. The book, I
Really?
really enjoyed it. Yes.
Yeah, I haven't read any Patricia Highsmith. So
Yeah, I hadn't either.
okay, you giving me. Yeah, that's true. The movie is different, having it like that way. That's true. And you can always kind of pace yourself as you watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Teresa said we just watched Wait Until Dark. Have you seen? Is this an Audrey Hepburn film?
I haven't
don't know why I'm
seen
blurry.
that one. I
It
haven't
is.
seen-
Hold on. I'm just going to turn my camera off and on again, and maybe it will. Sorry about that. Then it didn't let me fix it quickly. Wait Until Dark, though. Audrey Hepburn is a blind woman who inadvertently. I don't want to give things away, but she basically has something that in her house that really people want to get, and she's left home alone for a weekend, and her husband has no idea that this is the situation that she's been put in, and so it's her fighting to live. And there's a couple jump scares. It's really intense. Ugh. Okay, this is another one creeps me out too much. Joseph Cotton. He's so good at being creepy, and he's a serial killer in it. And he comes for a nice family visit, and one of the family members starts to figure out that he's this serial killer. It's really.
See, no. Just no.
But maybe the book that it's based on.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
can read.
I could handle the book probably, but not
Yes.
the movie.
Yes. Oh. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for these brief but nice readings, friends. And I hope that you have a great rest of your Victober and a good kind of close to the year and the festive season and everything. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much for having us, Kate.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.